I am a 200-hour yoga instructor. I'm also a dancer. I grew up dancing, and once I started my kind of spiritual journey, I discovered dance as a form of healing, and so I work with people and bodies on a path of healing through movement, breath, different kind of holistic modalities, using anything that can help you get into your body and find your truth and find your peace. And I love what you mentioned in the poem, because I feel like in this world that we live in, that is so crazy and so chaotic, the only true place I feel we can find safety is within ourselves. And sometimes we don't feel safe with ourselves, and that's something we have to learn and teach ourselves, to create this idea of safety in our own minds and in our own hearts, so that no matter what's going on in our environment, you can feel at home in your body. So yeah, I do, like I said, I do yoga, dance, movement. I hold dance spaces, very into ecstatic dance, just like authentic expression, and really just using your senses and the God-given body to be able to connect deeper to yourself, and then in turn connect to others.
Good. Thank you. Also, yes, earrings.
Oh,
your earrings are amazing.
Thank you. These are my pride earrings and my pride shirt. Yes. It says we are one.
I love that. But I want to share a video that Kiva sent me, and also a couple of photos of her in action. So And just a quick question, Kiva, do you feel like you're more connected to one of your forms of expression than the other? Like as a movement artist or a dancer and a yogi? Do you feel like you
yes.
more? Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say the free form, authentic movement dance aspect, I feel very strongly connected to. I absolutely, dance makes me feel like I'm alive. Like if I'm ever feeling like I'm off for whatever reason, and once I dance, like start dancing, it's just like, that is it. That's my fire. And yeah, I feel like as an artist, I feel like I'm like the creator of my own like lifestyle and like happiness and like what that looks like. I feel like I'm more it's more like in a healing realm. Like I am able to guide people, through their own healing. But that's ultimately to be able to discover, what their mission is and what their happiness is, and how they want to live their lives. I'm really just like the curator of like what I want my life to look and feel like. So when I think of artists, I think of that way of just like constantly creating and paving my own way, using healing as a way to get there.
And how long have you been a yogi?
Well, I started taking yoga classes in like 2014. But I got certified back in 2017. So I've been practicing for about 6 years now.
My name is Kiva Victoria, and I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts, the United States. I'm a dancer, a yogi, and a movement artist. I like to think of myself as a global peace warrior. I use movement, yoga, and dance as a source of healing. I truly believe my mission on this earth is to guide people into their bodies and to lead people into a place where they can really tap into how they feel and in turn begin to heal themselves. My intention is to guide people on a path towards self-reflection. You know, a place where they can really begin to take full responsibility for their lives, including their thoughts, their energy, their actions, and ultimately, you know, be able to tap into their own infinite potential, to be able to tap into their own mission on this earth. I believe when we as individuals begin to heal ourselves, the world can become a better place. You know, I believe the truest revolution is a revolution within ourselves, our human revolution. You know, I really am inspired to empower others so that they can, you know, tap into the true source power of who they are through movement, and be able to give back. It's my mission to, you know, I really want to help people tap into that feeling, connect with themselves on a really deep level, and, you know, it's almost like a whole new world when you can really begin to feel your feelings.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, when did you do that video?
I actually put that together recently. A friend of mine who has been helping me develop my website, she's actually in Argentina, living in Argentina. She had me film myself and record myself, and she kind of helped me put it together. So I did that just, I don't know, maybe last 2 months.
Yeah. When you say global peace warrior, that was a phrase that you said in the video. Can you expand on that? What do you mean by identifying as a global peace warrior?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So I love to travel, and I feel more connected to being a global citizen than I do to being, you know, a citizen of any one country. Or, you know, I really feel I'm able to like connect with different people and cultures, and I really thrive on diversity. Like for me, like I feel safer in a space where the community is diverse. Like I feel like that is where like I really thrive and able to really be myself. But I think some of us know what we're here to do on this earth, you know, and some of us are still trying to figure that out, and that's absolutely a-okay. But I think ultimately, like once you find whatever mode or modality it is that you feel is your call or your gift or your service to the world, like it's ultimately, I feel it is to add value and to create world peace, you know, when everyone's living their dream and their passion and they're happy and they're like doing what they want to do rather than going to a job that they hate or whatever it is, you know, everybody, you know, is on their path and trusting their true mission, then I really think the world would be a better place. Honestly, people would be happier, you know, and people would feel more connected to themselves and to nature and to each other. You know, when they start living their truth. And I think through healing, you know, that's how people begin to discover what their truth is, because, you know, there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of baggage that is in between where we are and where we want to be. And so my job is to help people get to that truth and find their way, navigate their way through whatever it is that is holding them back from that joy.
Like, do you feel before you start doing your work that you need to get into a certain place before you can open up to help other people? Do you find that that's easy or difficult?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. That's a great question. Absolutely. I mean, for a long time, I felt like, how can I help other people? And I can barely help myself. You know what I mean? Like, definitely grappling with like my self-worth and like wanting to show up, but feeling like, you know, I'm not there yet, or like I don't have anything to offer or things like that. But through like, you know, my healing practices and my own self-love and, you know, self-care, I've realized that like I have to, yes, it's important to work on myself, but I also have to be able to like make that leap and like put myself out there. But definitely like I want to be in a good mind space and a good energy to be able to serve and to give my offerings. And so when I feel off, then, you know, I try to show, I try to prepare as best I can to feel my best before I show up in a space where I'm going to be holding space for other people. And so for me, like I just started learning how to hold space for myself maybe the past like 3 years, you know, how to really hold space for my own feelings and my own emotions, and like understand why I was feeling what I was feeling at any given moment, you know, catching up to my feelings. Like 3 weeks would go by, and I'd be like, oh, that really bothered me, you know, that really hurt me, you know, and I'd have to like kind of dial back. So through all of my, you know, embodiment practices, I've been able to catch up with myself a lot faster, you know, be in the moment, be like, ooh, that's triggering, that hurts, like I need to say something about that, or I need to reflect on that, you know. So yeah, I would say definitely it's a challenge, you know. I think I held like a new moon, a dance, just, was it last, it might have been like in January. And it was my first new moon offering, and it was a really intense, sorry, it was a full moon. It was a really intense full moon. And so I was like, oh man, I put together this whole event. Like I have to show up and like hold space for people, and I am falling apart right now. It was really intense, but you know, I showed up, I was able to do it, but you know, it definitely made me reconsider, like, you know, maybe I'll do new moon offerings. The energy's a little less, you know, just really being able to be honest with myself about what I can hold and what I can't.
Yeah. That's something I always appreciated about yogi practice. Because I think when I first started, maybe it was just the different teachers, but in the last couple of years where the teachers are just constantly reminding you, okay, like stretch as far as you can into this pose. And if you're not there today, that's fine. And just go as far as you're able to. But breathing through it and remembering that you don't have to be perfect in every single part of your journey in it. That's kind of reminding me of what you're saying. And I love being reminded of that in class because it's so important, because you're just trying to get every single pose right and every single thing. And sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes it's just not going to happen and you just got to let it go. And
not today.
Yeah. And be okay with where you're at. Just something I appreciate that about dance and about yoga as well. Yeah. Okay. So let's see what else we got going here. Using your art and your work as a source of healing. We tapped into that a little bit already. So we all know that it's chaotic right now. There's so much going on. So much going on top of the fact that we are still in the middle of the pandemic. And I found that I really need to every single day very consciously tap into every single spiritual practice that I have with like such great intention, because of all of the external things, so that they don't kind of penetrate into everything that I'm doing all of the time. And so I'm wondering how, if at all, your practices are helping you move through all of this space right now and everything that's happening.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so thankful for my toolkit. Everybody needs a toolkit. If they don't have one, get your toolkit, start putting things in it and using them every day, because let's talk about the toolkit. So I was a little nervous before this call, and I still am a little bit. So I have my essential oils right here. that I've been like smelling a little bit, and like from just the bare basics of like senses, like using your senses to like come into your body and not be so much in your head, because you can get lost in your head and that could be scary. So like smell, touch, taste, or even just like, visually, like just finding a way to like drop into the body. And smell is a big one. So if you have like scented candles, like something that really calms you, or if you have like, some Palo Santo that you're burning, those are things that can really help you just on a physical level, just like kind of relax, into your body. So I've definitely been using a lot of my essential oils and doing my Palo Santo and some scented candles. But yeah, I have so many tools in my toolbox. So I have a chanting practice, which is like, I like to consider like a voice meditation. I also have my silent meditation practices. And these, again, are all things that are either helping to master your mind and or like drop into your body, or observe your mind, and or drop into your body. I've been doing a lot of yoga, just in my room and in my front yard, and that's been helping just moving energy through. And also writing. I never used to write, but writing has been a big one for me, of just like a way to move energy. So these are all tools on like how to move energy so that it don't get stuck in your body and manifest as like a cancer or some kind of, disease or anything like that. So it's ultimately about keeping the energy flowing and keeping it moving. My dance practice, just throwing on music and dancing. I also have a dance community out in Colorado, and we dance a wave every Sunday. And so that's a guided dance where, you're tapping into your own authentic movement, but there are some like cues along the way to help you kind of drop deeper into either your heart or your hips or wherever the stress or tension might be held in your body. Some people hold their tension in their shoulders, some people hold it in their hips, some people hold it in their lower back, and some people, get headaches often. And so, it's about really beginning to learn your own body. Like, we're not just these things in a body, like we are the body, like it's a part of us. And like really being able to learn, like okay, like when I get stressed, like what part of my body like tenses up, or like when I think about this thing or this person, where do I feel that manifested in my body? Where do I feel that pain? So yeah, these tools, I've been doing everything. Like sometimes I'll just go outside and lay on the earth, grounding, connecting to the earth. That's really great. Yeah, there's just so much. There's so many ways that just like whatever like brings you into your happy place, or brings you into your body, or calm, or just being barefoot if you haven't been barefoot for a while, taking a walk, going for a bike ride. I've been trying to do some hikes, like social distancing hikes, just with my housemate. And one day I'll wake up and maybe I don't feel like meditating, or I don't feel like doing yoga. Like you have to be able to check in with yourself and be like, all right, Kiva, like what do I need today? And like, what do I need right now in this moment? Because what I need right now in this moment is not necessarily going to be what I need later or what I need tomorrow. So like, I think it's good to find a rhythm, like a morning rhythm or evening rhythm that keeps you on like a good sleep schedule, or like it just kind of holds you. Like even if I get nothing done today, like at least I woke up and like chanted and made myself breakfast and like read a book. Like if I get nothing else done, like that's it. Like, so just finding finding which tool works for you in any given moment. I hope that helps.
Absolutely. Yvonne has a question. So they said, it feels like there are so many changes happening publicly, and for some of us privately too, all at once. For those of us who are new to the practice of healing through dance, how do you suggest that we get started at home?
Yes. Thank you for that question, Vani. That's my sister. Hey, sister. Yeah, no, there's absolutely chaos going on in the world right now. Like it feels like the world is on fire. But it also feels like we're renewing, like we're shedding our skin, like something is happening a lot's happening outside and a lot is happening internally for everybody, whether they're aware of it or conscious of it or not. You know, we're all going through like a deep internal shift along with the earth. So, you know, to start a practice, I would say, like, I think everybody likes music. Everybody likes music, right?
Yeah.
And everybody has.
Yes.
I hope everybody. Maybe not. All right. But all are welcome here.
Of course.
So, yeah, I would say, like, I actually did this for like a month. Like, I did a 30-day challenge, which I would love to bring back if people are interested. But every day I would wake up and just play one song and like dance to it. And then so that's how I would start my day. You know, find a song that you like and move your body. It doesn't have to be high energy. It could be something slow or soothing, but, you know, pick a song that moves you. And like, for me, like, I only listen to music that moves me, that literally, like, if I'm sitting still and my toe starts like jamming, like, then I'm like, okay, this is a good song. Like, it's moving me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say just putting a song on and moving. It doesn't even have to be like dance. It doesn't have to look good. Just do what feels good, you know? For me, when I'm doing my own yoga practice or even when I'm teaching, I'm literally just like listening to my body of like, okay, like, what feels good? What's next? Where am I tight? And that's how I cater to my body. It doesn't have to be like a premeditated routine. Like, I never plan any of my yoga classes anymore. I used to have my book next to me and I used to be like, okay, what's next? But eventually I just started listening to my body and it really began to flow in that way, and trusting that like whatever it is that I need in the class is, you know, other people will need it as well. And if there's any requests, I can always, you know, do more or less or of whatever. But usually, like, when I stay true to myself, it's well received.
Nice. So just start with a song. One day.
Just pick a song.
Just move.
Just move.
I feel that. Thank you for the question, Yvonne. Okay, I have some more questions here. All right. So, do you think it being Pride Month, and as we are here to celebrate that, do you think that your work would be the same or very different if you weren't a queer artist? And basically, how does being a queer artist inform your work or your process, if it does?
Yeah. Thank you. That's a great question. So, I mean, my motto is, if you have a body, you can move. You can do yoga. If you have a body, you can dance. You know, everybody has a body. So it's definitely an all-inclusive thing. But I do feel that, well, firstly, I will say that the queer community for me feels like a safe place to not label myself, if that makes any sense. Because I don't identify as gay, I don't identify as lesbian, I don't identify as bi, I don't even really would say I identify as queer, but I do feel connected to the queer community, in that it is a space where it is so open and diverse and welcoming that I feel like it's a place where I can say, actually, I don't want to label myself, and so I feel like that is acceptable in that space. Right. So yeah, that's more what it is for me. But I really feel like the queer community is a place that has allowed me to accept myself more and love myself more. It's a place where I feel like I can do, say, and be whoever I want, and like, it's welcome. You know what I mean? Like, even just like body positivity of, you know, having hairy armpits or hairy legs, where like that is welcome. You know what I mean? Right. And like normalized. And so for me, that's like, you know, that's a safe space. That's just one example, but like, it almost feels like a place where like, if you do anything, like, it's not going to be questioned. obviously anything, you know, that's not hurting someone else, but like it's a real place where I feel like I could be uniquely myself. And I don't have to fit myself into these boxes of like, I'm this and I'm that. And like, yes, I do identify as an artist, and yes, I do identify as, you know, a yogi and all these things. And like, I feel like the labels do help unify in some ways, but like, I'm also so much more than that. You know, I think of myself as a bruja, and like, you know, a warrior, and like all these different things. We have so many different like facets to ourselves, so many different dimensions of who we are. And that was actually a real struggle for me in developing my website and just trying to like define who I am so that people will understand me, but so that people can understand me. But it's like I'm doing it for others, not for myself. So if I had the option, like, yeah, it's like, all right, how can I like label and define myself so that people will get it and see me and like show up and be interested, but at the same time, like, it feels very limiting. So I feel like, to answer your question, because I feel like I like a little bit, yeah, I feel like it has allowed me to just be more accepting and loving of myself, to feel connected to the queer community. And in movement, I think, yeah, just all bodies, any body, like, you're welcome to move and like connect with yourself and to feel. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm able to just be myself. Exactly.
yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate that you reflected that back, because I felt that as well. Just feeling very accepted in the queer community. And I think that's a practice as well. You know, like, that's in the expression, it's important to feel that you are safe and that you are in a space where you can freely express. Because then if you're not, then are we still limiting ourselves in our expression, and how deep we can go into finding out more about our identities and how we can evolve in those ways? And I think it's always interesting when there are these groups that are so marginalized, and then on the other end of that, there's this great celebration about who we are and what we can do and what we're capable of. It's like, oh, there are some groups over here that really are not into what we're doing and who we are, but on the other end of the spectrum is like, there's all of this amazing work and these amazing identities. And like, that's why I love when I see just people out here just celebrating their fabulousness and just doing the most. I love that. I love seeing that. So that, like,
Yes,
big expression and just feeling like people are completely being themselves, it is so nice to see, and to be a part of. And I think it's so important, and everybody should be doing it, queer or not. But of course, we come into things as we need to and want to and can. So
yeah, absolutely. Like, I feel like just the fact that their flag is the rainbow, like, is all telling. It's like, that is just the most beautiful thing. It encompasses all the colors, you know, of our existence or whatever, like, combined. And I don't know, when I think of the queer community, like, it feels very ancient, but it also feels very like futuristic, of like, this is the future. You know what I mean? Like, these are different ways that we can live our lives. It doesn't have to look one way or the other. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, well, if we have this one, I get to be Kiva one time in this body. Like, how do I want to live it? How do I want to do it? You know what I mean?
yeah, and you're still finding out ways to do it. You know,
Right.
we're gonna stop finding out what else is possible.
Never ending. It's infinite potential.
Hey. All right. Does anyone else have any questions? Please feel free to flood us with them. I have some more questions, so I'm just gonna keep it going. Everybody doing good? Everybody drinking water? Is everyone drinking water? I'm going to have some actually right now. Yes, good, Paloma. Good. So, yes, full of lemon. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Hydration is important. Okay, so let's see. Well, we have about 15 minutes left. Let's talk about what you want to do. What are you doing? What are you thinking about for your future as a yogi, as a movement artist, as a dancer? Are there any things that you are really interested in doing soon or in the near future that we can look out for?
Yes. Awesome. Thank you. Actually, before we dive into that, I just wanted to share one thing. I actually, in perfect timing, like in sync with the universe, I had a social justice course last week. I'm taking a somatics online course with my dance community that's based in Boulder, Colorado. And so we meet every other week, and soma means of the body. So we're learning how to, be embodied global leaders. Whatever your work is, whether you're in, I don't know, nutrition, or you're an artist, or you're a social worker, or you're I don't know, anything that you do, that we're bringing embodiment practices into that field of work. And so last week we had a social justice course on the intersection of race and gender. And I was just like, wow, this is perfect timing. You know what I mean? And I'm still educating myself on, this community as always. But it was very interesting, and it was with a woman named Dr. Annalise Singh. But one thing she mentioned that really stood out to me was this idea around trans people, and how, historically and anciently, like, they were hijras in India, and like, trans people were around, like, back in the day. Like, I mean, they're always been around, but like they were a part of the community and worshipped in ways, and they were also very spiritual. And they were able to embody many different energies, if you will. And so, when people came to colonize these different countries, they went for the trans people because they were so spiritually connected. They wanted to, like, cut people from their culture and, just destroy any connection we had to, like, the earth or our spirituality. And so I thought that was just really powerful. When you think about the queer community now, and like how, like I said, ancient but futuristic it is, it's like, they've always been around. To be able to embody many different energies, I feel like is powerful in itself. And so for me, like, just being able to tap into my masculine, tap into my femme, tap into whatever it is that I need to like, express myself in this time, and in this in this day and age of just like being, to really be able to fully express myself. So, I just thought that was really interesting. And, like I said, I'm still learning a lot, always educating myself on what's going on. And, I also found that, I've always been Black, before I was like a girl or a woman, like I was Black, or before I was an artist, I was Black. Or before I was a daughter or a sister or anything, like I was Black. And I've known that from a very young age, racism. I went to school in the suburbs, bussed out for a better education. So I went to school with predominantly all white students. And like, I always was very aware that I was Black before I was anything else. And so honestly, for me, like, understanding my gender and exploring that realm has only happened in the past, like, however, maybe 5 years or so, because I didn't have the space or security or safety or opportunity to be able to explore that before, because race was so, in my face. So I feel thankful to be in a place where I am now, where like I can get curious about that. And I think that happens for a lot of Black people. Like they're Black before they get to be anything else. So like, how can they, really begin to explore any of the other aspects of themselves? What I'm working on, or what I'm moving towards. So I'm actually preparing to launch my website in like a couple of days. I think like this week. I think it's going to happen this week. I've been working on it for some time, and there's been a lot of mental and emotional blocks that have kept me from putting this out there. For some people, like a website's not a big deal and you just throw it together or whatever. But for me, there's been a lot of internal struggle. And so I'm very excited to be having that platform, in addition to like, my Facebook and Instagram or whatever. And yeah, I mean, it's just with the quarantine, like I'm going to be offering a lot of things online. I'm going to be offering private yoga, group yoga, one-on-one embody me like sessions. I'm also going to be offering an online course, like a 4-week course of like, it's called Embody Me. So like how to, like the basics of like how to like learn to get into your body. And if you haven't felt your body yet, you're in for a ride, because it's like mind blowing to be like, oh wow, like we're always exploring outside. Like I love to travel, and like you get to go to different countries and different places and explore, but like there's also a whole inner world. It's mind blowing, like that you can explore every single day. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'll be doing new moon sessions as well, and guided meditations, using poetry and spoken word and music, anything that inspires me. And I actually started hosting sunrise yoga dance experiences back in Boston. I'm currently in LA now. I just moved here right at the beginning of COVID, right before COVID happened, like 2 weeks before. But yeah, I've been hosting these sunrise events that I'm really excited about, because I love the sunrise, and I love ecstatic dance, conscious dance. Bless you. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it's essentially you have an event where people come into the space. There's usually a DJ or a playlist that takes you on a wave. So the music kind of takes you on a journey. There's like a slow come up, there's a peak, and then a come back down. And you're barefoot, and there's no talking on the dance floor. So it's a really intimate experience to be able to just be with yourself and be with your body and your dance. You can engage with other people on the dance floor if you like. You don't have to, but because there's no words, it's not just a dance party. It's a very intentional, conscious dance. So I really love that community, and my big dream is to be able to travel city to city across the country and across the world, hosting these sunrise ecstatic dances on rooftops. I was doing it at the Bruce Bowling Building in Boston, on that rooftop, and it's just beautiful. So that's like my big mission. But I have some retreats I'm planning that have been pushed back due to COVID. But yeah, I'm just really excited to be able to share my offerings. I'm going to be hopefully getting into like some festivals and just sharing my offerings wherever I can. And also, a way that I can be able to continue to travel. My business, my brand is nomadic by nature. So, I think by nature we're meant to move. Like I said, stagnation is what causes sickness. So like movement is like the medicine. Like we are the medicine. You just got to move. So yeah, is that everything? That's pretty much what I'm up to. Oh, you guys are getting all like we're getting the untold. I'm very interested in beginning to offer clothing optional yoga. So that's a thing that I recently took a class, and I've always been interested in, and I love being naked. So that's something that I definitely will and would like to explore, in a safe space, a safe container. If you've never done yoga naked, I encourage you to go into your room and take off all your clothes and do some yoga. It's really liberating.
Thank you, Kiva. We have a question from Sarah. Let's see. They said, wondering if you have any evening practices that help you center yourself. I've been struggling with sleep and finding a calm mind.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So, yeah, well, I think I mentioned I have a chanting practice. So, chanting typically energizes me, but it can help to calm you. For me, it helps with anxiety and I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention to any of the chat or questions. So
no, I'll do that. Don't worry.
Okay.
I got you.
Yeah, thank you. But for me, what has helped, sleep is like a very important part of my healing and a part of how I connect to like my spirituality, my dreams and everything like that. So like my sleep world is very sacred to me. So it's important to get a good night's sleep. And when I don't, I know something is off. So yeah, for me, I mean, I think it's important to turn your phone off or on airplane mode, right before bed or even an hour before. And, sometimes taking a hot bath can kind of bring you into your body. Or even just doing some like gentle bed yoga, and just hanging out in child's pose for a while, or just hanging out in, a twisted low back stretch and just finding your breath. Yeah, and I think reading before bed, like reading puts me to sleep. Like if I want to go to sleep, like I'll just read. And then like a couple pages later, I'm ready. So I think just grabbing a book, at least for me, helps me to, kind of fall asleep. And I think, especially if your mind is super busy, the scented candles can help, or even Palo Santo, just anything that can drop you out of your mind. Touch, self-touch, whatever that looks like. But yeah, I think finding a rhythm is important. So I try to have my phone on airplane mode by 10 p.m. And I usually don't even respond to text messages after 9 p.m. because I'm just like, why are you texting me? So I hope that's helpful.
Yeah.
Some of my practices definitely energize, but some of them can be more relaxing.
Yeah. I found, in addition to what you said, that it's so important for me to start winding down like a considerable amount of time before I think that I want to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
The phone is away. Whatever I need to set up is set up. Did I eat? Schedule's all crazy right now, but we do what we can. Jack had a question. How does yoga help you cope with pain from injuries?
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you for that question. For me, I have some injuries that are kind of like long term, I guess, or like they're now a part of my family. They don't go away. But I think movement just helps to lubricate the joints and get the blood flowing. So, when you think of like the Tin Man, he needs oil so that he can move like smoothly. That's exactly how our bodies are, except it's called, the oil is called synovial fluid, and that comes from your spine. So that's why you always see people doing, cat-cow and things like that. The spine is where the synovial fluid comes from, and that actually, yoga helps to move that fluid through the rest of your body and your joints and things like that, to keep you like, or lubricated in your joints. And so, a lot of times injuries get kind of like crackly or, I don't know, just stuck energy, or they have this trauma from whatever the injury was. And so it's like you go to sleep and you wake up and you have to like remind yourself like who you are, and what your mission is and what your passion is. And so it's kind of like reminding your body every single day, which is why I think it's important to get some kind of daily movement practice, whether it's yoga or dance, just like, just remembering like, hey, you're here, I see you. And, the movement really helps to, I know for me, like when I'm not practicing yoga regularly, everything hurts. All my aches and pains come back. But when I'm moving, I feel nothing. I feel like I can do anything. So I don't know what the psychology is behind that, but it definitely, you bend so you don't break. So you got to be able to continue to move. Continue to keep everything flowing. Like I said, energetically, it's a flow of energy.
Mm-hmm. Bend so you don't break. I love that. One more question, and it is from Sarah, and they say, how do you deal when someone or situation is attempting to pull you into a negative space? How do you revert back to a positive space?
Yeah, right, because that happens every day.
Oh yeah.
So thank you for that question. I feel like all of these embodiment practices are, a way to center yourself and to come into your truth and to come into basically a strong sense of self. And so when you are able to develop a strong sense of self, you're not easily swayed by your environment. You know what I mean? Because there's always going to be things going on in the environment. But it's kind of like protecting your energy. So for me, like all of these practices, when I fill up my cup and I give myself this love and this self-care, like I'm kind of creating this like protective force field where like I feel so good that like no matter what you say, it doesn't bother me because I've been taking care of myself and I've been loving on myself. You know what I mean? And like I said, that's an everyday practice. It's not like you do it once and you're like, I'm good. Like I literally have to fuel up, re-up every day, sometimes multiple times a day, where I'll be like, oof, I need to go to my Gahans. I need to chant right now. I need 30 minutes just to reset. So, you can reset at any point in the day, but really I think it's developing such a clear vision and truth for what it is that you want and focusing on that only. Whereas whatever other people are saying is not, it doesn't matter. You're not allowing it to affect you. But I think it's important to be able to identify and take responsibility for like, what's your own stuff and what's somebody else's, and be able to decipher, what, I need to look at that. And, that's something that, I'm the common denominator, or I keep being triggered. I keep being upset. That's not affecting the other person, but how can I transform that so that it doesn't affect me? You know what I mean? So really just deciding, being clear about what's yours and what's not yours. And then just taking care of yourself.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Being in your power, Because when you're letting someone drag you into a negative space or trip you where you didn't even see it coming, like, and sometimes that happens, but you're allowing them to have power over you. So even if you do trip and fall into the negative space, that's okay. Just bring yourself back as fast as you can. And these tools and resources have helped me to bounce back quicker and quicker and quicker. Whereas like it would take me, I'd be mad for like 3 days. Now I'm mad for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? I'm over this. I'm go make my smoothie or whatever.
3 days to 10 minutes? Let's go. I love that. That quick turnaround, honey.
Yes.
Yes. I love what you said about, you got to fill up your cup. Got to fill up the cup. Yeah, that's so super important. I don't like talking to people or starting anything or reading emails or touching my phone before I stretch and fill up my cup in the morning. Because then as soon as I get off track, then it's like, okay, wait, I gotta reroute. Like, let me get on the right track first, get stable first, and then I can deal with whatever is coming.
Instead of trying to backtrack.
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't take care of myself, but now I'm cussing out so and so who just asked me to borrow some peanut butter.
Exactly. Ah, I love this. Thank you so much. Everybody in the comments is so grateful, and
thank you for all the comments coming through.
Yeah, thank you all so much. We're at time, and I'm just really. I feel like my cup is full now. Like I now I can say that I felt like my day was just completely all over the place. I didn't want to say that at the beginning because then you set the tone. But this has really like been helpful. Just talking and collaborating and being in space with you guys and just connecting is really nice right now. And hearing all of these positive things and practices that, we need to remember is really wonderful, and I'm super grateful. So thank you very much for being here with us. Hi, Ned.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Adobuere, thank you so much for hosting this space. This was really exciting and a challenge for me to like step up, show up, be in my power, share my voice, engage with other people and have a dialogue around like what's present, because I feel like now is the time. Like there's so much happening in the world. Whatever it is you've been sitting on, like now is the time.
Yeah. So where can I know your website's coming, but if yes, exactly. We want to know when your website is live. So I will definitely, post on my Instagram and all of my stuff, but tell us where we can find you on Instagram before we can find you on your website.
Yes, I just sent my Instagram handle to the group chat. That's also my Facebook. The website is coming so soon. Like I'm so close, y'all. Pray for me, but yeah, I will definitely, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be the first to know. You'll be the first to know when it's live, or if you want to, send your email, I can put you on my email list to know, what's happening next. But yeah, Instagram is pretty straightforward. Unless you don't have Instagram, you can just shoot me your email.
Amazing. Thank you, Kiva. Thank you again, everybody, a million times over. I want to say something really quickly. I did want to support the BTFA Collective, which is the Black Trans Femmes in the Arts organization. So if you can donate or just check them out on Instagram, their Instagram is BFTA Collective. So just check them out, support them if you can. And I've got info on July events coming up, getting ready for those. And also the last one this month is happening tomorrow with 2 artists. So please come tomorrow if you'd like. And then that's it. Drink water and take care of yourselves, please.
Yes. Thank you so much, Adobuere. Thank you, everyone, for all of your support and your questions and your beautiful faces. Appreciate the support. I really do.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.